There we go. I think you can hear me now. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Julie Two Moon, and this is a beautiful Monday. I'm the creator of From Surviving to Thriving, and that is a 5-step process to get back your energy, your hormonal balance, vitality in your life, meaning in your life, a sense of joy and wonder and awesomeness. And this is my group. Focused on ending exhaustion and living a life of meaning. So welcome again. I'm so glad you're here. The other day in the group, someone had asked me, are you really a doctor? I thought it was such a great question, right? Because there's so many people out there masquerading as health experts and calling themselves things that they're not. So I so appreciate the question. I think it was awesome. Yes, I'm really a doctor. I studied naturopathic medicine at what is now the National University of Naturopathic Medicine. I also have a master's in Chinese medicine. So I have been practicing doing acupuncture and Chinese medicine and naturopathic medicine ever since then. And I've always had a focus on a lot of chronic and hard to treat things. Now, what's funny is that I have been one of my most difficult cases, if you want to know the truth. I would say if I look in hindsight, my energy levels really started to drop probably when I was in med school. So that's saying a lot because sadly I was in my 20s and my energy levels shouldn't have been dropping, but I was going to med school doing 2 programs simultaneously. And my oldest child was born right before my last year actually of school. So I carted around a baby and nursed him and did all those things and then graduated and started a practice, and all of these things just kind of built upon each other. But I had the same philosophy that maybe most of you have lived life with, which is, I can do this, I can take more, what's the big deal, power through, power on. And that's kind of how I operated. So I started a private practice, and then a couple years later I moved that private practice because I was expanding, and I was always running a few rooms at a time, and then I had a second child, and then I had a third child, and that was kind of the cadence of my life. After my third child, things got harder. It was harder to rebalance my body. I had almost a chronic state of achiness and fatigue and not sleeping, and I couldn't lose any of the weight that I'd put on with that pregnancy. And I tried so hard to get back to life, and it just wasn't happening in the same way. But I was so busy. 3 little kids, running a practice, there wasn't time to try to figure that out. So I just kept muddling through, use caffeine, use sugar, kind of keep pushing. Meanwhile, I was eating really a relatively very good diet, mostly organic foods, everything is as fresh and local as possible. I was adhering to a lot of great principles, but what was frustrating me is that to no end, those principles weren't resulting in me living the life that I wanted to live. And so I just kept searching and searching. There were a couple of years there way back and I don't advocate this, I did the HCG diet. I thought it had helped. It did not. It did a lot to disrupt my metabolism. Then I did a couple of years of CrossFit. CrossFit was awful because I totally got fit. I had the physique of a very fit person, but I wasn't sleeping. I was crunchy all the time. Frustrated and angry. My hormones were out of whack. But because I was so fit looking, I just assumed I was great. And so I just kept pushing through until finally a back injury took me down. And in the time that it took me to recover from that, I really just realized how far into the pit I'd been. Of course, at that same time, all the time I was doing CrossFit, I was doing basically a keto diet, which again, that's why you'll hear me say over and over, keto just plunged me into further hormonal disarray and not sleeping and frustration and getting angry. And so anyway, I did all of that and still was just kind of left stymied because I wasn't vital. There's a difference. That's what really showed me the difference. There's a difference between looking vital and being vital. And I had found ways to get myself to look vital, but I was not vital. And that was so key. The distinction was so huge because it was like pretending, that's what it taught me, is that so much of what we do and so much of what is common dogma is just pretending. So then I had, a period of time where I was just kind of in no space, trying various things here and there. I was still tired. I was still not sleeping. I started to gain the weight back, sugar cravings, aches and pains. I mean, I had my left heel hurt for a couple years there. But headaches, I mean, by and large, I was not so balanced. And then I really kind of figured it out. And so I really started to pay attention to some principles that I had kind of dismissed, which was this effect of chronic stress and how chronic stress impacts mineral levels and how we use minerals in our body, and especially the impact of stress on cell membrane permeability and how it changes the thyroid cell response and the adrenal cell response, and how just throwing supplements at it doesn't work, and even blood tests weren't accurate for describing what was happening in the body. And saliva tests, I'd done those years ago. I found that I wasn't happy with really the information they were providing, and so I started to dive deeper and deeper and deeper until I found the group of things that figured it out. And so, I was finally able to regain energy, but like real energy. I mean, energy that felt like it didn't have, it wasn't like wispy. That is the only way I can describe it. When you've been fatigued and then your energy starts to come back, it is like you realize that you'd been running on something wispy and almost ethereal. It's like smoke. I mean, it didn't have a tangible bottom. There was no base built. And that was one of the first things I noticed as I started to recover my energy was, oh my gosh, it's like there's a foundation under the building again. And then I also liken it to people as like the pool getting filled up. Like I was existing with a pool where someone had long since pulled out the drain. And so every time you added water, it just whoosh, went out the bottom. And then finally, it was like someone put a hole in the drain. And so when the water came in, it actually started to fill up, and I could feel that. Like there was a tangible difference. It was also one of those moments that pointed out to me just how tired I had been and how worn down. And then it made sense. Of course, I can't lose the extra weight because I'd worn myself down. And again, I'll say this in the context, like I am a naturopathic doctor, I'm a Chinese medicine practitioner, but I too had adopted that philosophical approach to life where it was like, no, I need to take care of all these people. I need to take care of my kids. I need to grocery shop. I need to make sure the bills are paid. I need to make sure the house is clean. I need to go here. I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this. And like, once you get into that mode, you don't step out of it. You sit down and immediately you're like, I should fold the laundry. And you get up. And then you're like, I should email that person back. And then it's like, I should check Facebook. I should check Instagram. I should research that one thing I wanted to research. And that was me. Like I was running on that hamster wheel all day long, every day, like never stepping off the hamster wheel. And then it was when that realization came, like, wait a minute, the hamster wheel isn't even real. And if I step off of it, I can dramatically change my experience. That is what shifted things for me. It was this whole awareness that I was able to make a difference in my total experience. Hello, Kai. And be able to actually feel life from a different place. And that is one of the big shifts that happened for me, is that then when you feel that pool starting to fill up again, and it's like your cells actually have a foundation to the energy, and then it's like your brain starts to respond, and then you notice that all those hormonal problems that you've been having are slowly and steadily receding. And then you notice that the aches and pains too were just a downstream effect of there being so little energy left. What were the muscles supposed to do? So I started to restructure all of it, what I was taking, what I was eating, what I was doing in my life. And then that really showed me the totality. And then I started to recognize everyone I was seeing was so freaking tired. I mean, it's like exhaustion to the core. And we're all just like propping ourselves up, just pushing through and committed to, I don't know, just continuing the facade. And I could see that because I'd been there myself, and I know what it feels like to feel like I must. And that like, I know I should rest, but I know I should take some time off, but, and there's always, I found there was a million things that you could say that you should be doing. And I did them all to myself. So I learned a lot in med school. I learned a lot getting my master's in Oriental medicine. But you know what taught me the most? was trying to navigate the path of life as a mother and a wife and a doctor and an acupuncturist and a human, and recognizing that just because we know things doesn't always mean that we know to apply them in the right way for us. And I was driving myself down just as much as anyone else. And I can tell you that most healers I know are having the same experience, is that we so want to save the world, and in the process we're sacrificing ourselves. And so I had to find a happy medium where I could save the world and save myself and take part in my family and be loving and kind to my husband and to my kids, and to have it all work. And so that's my story. My name is Dr. Julie Two Moon. I wanted you to have a perspective on who I am. I welcome your questions and comments. I'm here to help you solve the exhaustion problem, because there's no way that this is what we're meant to live like. I can tell you that just can't be the case. We are too magical to have that be our path. So many blessings to you. Have a beautiful and awesome and fantastic day. Take care.